Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you how to make this super cool Vaellia bracelet. So this is a wider version of my veil bracelet that I posted a few days ago. Yeah, it's just chunkier. So yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys how to make this today. So if you have not already made it, you do need to make the veil bracelet. So if you have not made this yet, there will be a link to the tutorial for this in the description of this video, and then once you make that, you can come back to this tutorial. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So to make this design, you do need a double-ended hook. I know that the veil bracelet was made with just a one-sided hook, but it would be too difficult for this design, so you do need a double-ended hook. You need a couple C-clips to work with. And you do need the veil bracelet. So I know I already mentioned that, and it is in the description of this video if you haven't made it already. I just do want to mention that it does shrink by 1 row. So the shrinking is very minimal, but it does shrink slightly. I'll be using the same colors that I did here. So that was opaque yellow for the border, opaque teal and green for the center, and then for the middle connecting part, I used rose jelly. So yeah, let's just get started. So to start, you're just gonna cap your border color on your hook, and then you're gonna clip it. And just make sure that you get both sides of the cap band. And we just do this to make sure that it does not fall apart during our next step. And then we're going to grab our veil bracelet. And this part is a little awkward, but you're going to come to the side and find the cap band that is sticking out. And then you're going to grab a border color and just pull it through those first 2 bands. And then we're going to flip and pull a border color through that first band. And now we're going to be adding these teal and green bands. So we're going to get our teal, pull it through the first 3, and pick them all back up. Now we're going to rearrange the yellow closest to our hook over that teal, and then hold the side of the teal that's farthest from our hook with our thumb, and then flip that remaining teal over the yellow. Then we're going to cross that remaining teal over the 2 middle yellow bands. Then pinch the yellow and the teal closest to our hook, drop the teal, and then put the yellow back on. Now we're going to get another teal, pull it through all 4 bands, pick them all back up, and be very careful during this next part to make sure the teal doesn't slip. So we're going to rearrange the 3 yellows closest to our hook over that teal. Then we're going to hold the side of the teal farthest from our hook, flip the remaining teal over those 2 middle yellow bands, pinch the yellow and teal closest to our hook off, drop the teal, then put the yellow back on. Then the last teal that's on our hook, we're going to just carefully flip that over all 4 bands. And it should look something like this. It'll be a little awkward at this point, but that's okay. So we're going to get our border color, pull it through the first 2 bands, and then flip. Now we're going to come back to the center veil part of our bracelet, and we're going to pick up the first band. So as you can see, it's just sitting here, and you want to make sure that you're picking up the outside of the band, the side that's sitting out this way. And we're just going to put that on our hook, and then we're going to get our border color, pull it through the first 3 bands, and then we'll flip. Now, I know it looks messy, but this is the start of the pattern, and we're just going to keep doing this. So, we'll get our green, pull it through the first 3 bands, pick them all back up, rearrange the yellow closest to our hook over the green, hold the side of the green farthest from our hook with our thumb, flip the other green over the hook, then cross that other green over the 2 middle yellows, and then pinch both this green and the yellow off of the hook, and then only put the yellow back on. Now we're going to get another green, pull it through all 4 bands, pick them all back up. Now be very careful to make sure the green does not slip. We're going to hold the green farthest from our hook, then rearrange the other 3 yellows over that green. Then we're going to flip this green over those 2 middle bands, pinch the green and yellow, drop the green, and only put the yellow back on our hook, and then flip that remaining green carefully over those remaining 4 bands. Now we're going to get a yellow, pull it through the first 2 bands, and then we can flip. And now we're going to come back to the Vail bracelet and pick up the side, this yellow chain through the side, and make sure you're picking up the side of the chain that's closest to the outside. And now we're going to get another yellow, pull it through the first 3 bands, and then flip again. And now we're back at the start of our pattern. So I know it looks slightly messy, but it'll look better the more you go on, and you're basically just going to do this all the way up until the end. So if you're still not understanding the pattern, there will be a timestamp back at this point where you can follow the pattern again until it clicks, and I'm going to do the rest off camera, and then I will be back to show you what to do next. So I have done the pattern all the way up until the end, and you just want to stop at the point right before you pull any yellow bands through. And we're going to flip so where our hook is facing towards the middle pink part here. And we're going to come back to the center Vail bracelet, and we're going to go in this last loop and pick up that last yellow band. This one is a little awkward, especially to show on camera, but you just want to go through and pick up that last yellow band. Okay. Hold on, let me grab it off camera really quick. Okay, sorry, I had to go off camera to do that just because it's very difficult to show on camera, but you should be grabbing the band that's sitting on the outside of the middle here. And there should be 5 yellow bands on your hook. Then you're just going to get 1 yellow band and pull it through all 5 bands. And then we're going to get a C-clip and just clip it. And now we're going to start adding the last border here. So to add that last border, we're just going to come down to the cap band here, and we can just go ahead and unclip that. We don't need that anymore. But we're going to go down to the cap band and pick up those first 2 teal bands. And then we're going to get our rose jelly, or whatever color you use for the center here. And we're just going to pull through those first 2 bands. Then we're going to pick up the next 2 green bands, get a rose jelly, pull through the first 4, or all 4 bands. Then we're going to pick up the next 2 teal, get a rose jelly, pull through all 4 bands, and you're just going to do that all the way up. It is very easy. And then just one more time. And it should look something like that. And then we're going to come to that first clipped band and just unclip it. Then we're going to pinch off that first yellow band and slide those 2 pinks on. And then we can just reclip. And we are done with that side. So doing the other side is exactly the same as this side. So there will be a timestamp to where I started this side, and you're just going to do the same exact thing to the other side. And then I'll come back once I have finished the entire bracelet. Okay, so I have done the other side, and after you do that, there's not much else you need to do. So that is the Vaellia bracelet. I apologize if this tutorial was messy or hard to follow. I just wanted to make it as time efficient as possible. So if you do have any questions, my Instagram is always available. And if you do make this, you can use the hashtag Vaellia bracelet. And if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a ton, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.